Do you believe wholeheartedly that JayZ is your father?
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like, it's not as far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do.
Yeah. Are you scared for your life now? It's unfortunate that you were shot at. I'm glad that you were okay from that. Do you think that was a situation where you were targeted? And if so, are you scared for your life?
No, I'm not scared for my life. I mean, it was a scary situation.
I'm not pointing no fingers. I'm just asking everybody, all the judges or anybody who's working on the case, to do what's right and do their job the correct way, even if you overlook something or didn't see something. Everybody makes mistakes, as I said before, but you know, it's time to actually do your job and look at everything and get it correct.
Do you really believe with all your heart that Jay is your pops? A federal judge told JayZ he had to take a paternity test. Just 2 days later, his alleged son's car got lit up with bullets. That wasn't no random drive-by. That was a loud and deadly warning. Stay quiet or get hurt. This ain't just some street beef. This is a full-on legal showdown, a media blackout, and a billionaire empire working overtime to crush one man before he can blow the lid off everything. Back in 1992, JayZ supposedly messed around with a 16-year-old girl named Rymir Satterthwaite. Folks in the hood called her Precious. It was just a quick hookup, but things went left. She claimed the condom broke and bam, she ended up pregnant.
7. My mom had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now, and she been saying Sean Carter, that's what she was calling him at first before she was calling it JayZ, and I really didn't know who that was because I was young and, you know, had my little brother, and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but I really, this was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, it's not your father, and I really want you to know it is. This person is your father.
From that moment, her whole world flipped upside down because JayZ ghosted. No Instagram, no cell phones, no assistants or glam squads to track him down. She never saw him again. She was only 16 when she had the baby, and she was knocked out in that hospital bed when it happened. While Wanda was out cold, her boyfriend at the time, Robert Graves, signed the birth certificate. People close to Wanda say Robert knew that baby wasn't his, but he signed it anyway to snatch some extra government help like food stamps. Then the trauma just stacked up. When Rymir turned 8, Wanda sat him down and dropped the bomb. JayZ is your father. She never switched up her story. For years, she begged JayZ to take a paternity test, even offered to handle it privately. He stayed silent, but Wanda didn't back down. She battled through endless dead ends, shady lawyers who vanished on her, and judges who straight up told her she was wasting time. When she realized she might not make it, Wanda made a move that would outlive her. She signed a sworn affidavit, naming JayZ as Rymir's father.
We didn't have enough information to keep the case going, so it was a big case to me because, you know, I really wanted to find out who my father was, and for the case not to go how I was planning it, I really thought it was going to go different than what it was, but, well, I really feel like it should have been over with because, you know, I feel like if it was anybody else, you know, like, I'm not saying this because people got higher standards or people make more money than that, but it's just different because, you know, if it was anybody else that made a low income, I feel like they would have had them in there way faster than people that's wealthy.
In 2019, Wanda died from heart failure. One of the last things she told Rymir was to keep fighting and that one day, the truth would break out no matter what. This wasn't some woman chasing clout or trying to make headlines. All Wanda ever wanted was for her son to know where he came from, but JayZ stayed silent, playing ghost. Now, Rymir's a grown man on a mission to finish what his mama started. In 2014, he filed a civil paternity suit against JayZ, this time with backup. His godmother and legal guardian, Lily Coley, who'd been holding him down ever since Wanda's health took a bad turn. That's when things got shady. Real shady. JayZ didn't handle the case like a regular dude. Nah, his lawyers allegedly cooked up a legal obstacle course full of delays, tricks, and straight-up lies, all to stop one simple thing from happening: a mouth swab. Can you imagine? Instead of just taking a quick DNA test, they allegedly decided to twist the whole system. Check this out. Rymir and Lily filed the lawsuit in New Jersey. Why?
Yeah. Are you scared for your life? It's unfortunate that you were shot at. I'm glad that you were okay from that. Do you think that that was a situation where you were targeted? And if so, are you scared for your life?
No, I'm not scared for my life. I mean, it was a scary situation. It was a scary situation, but it's just unfortunate. I'm from North Philadelphia. I'm not saying I got nothing to do with it, but I saw a gunshot. I heard gunshots and just saw crazy shit before. So, but it definitely was a scary situation because I never been through it. I barely come outside and I stay to myself. So it's like,
Because that's where JayZ allegedly hooked up with Wanda and where he was rumored to own property. The plan was simple. Prove he had ties to Jersey so the court could force that DNA test. But JayZ's team hit them with a slick legal move. They said he didn't live in Jersey, so the court had no power over him. But here's the wild part. There's proof he did own property there. Property records, tax papers, and even receipts from JayZ's own business docs showed he had plenty of ties to Jersey. Still, his lawyers allegedly used a New York address to slip out the back door. That one sneaky move got the whole case thrown out. But it didn't end there. According to Lily, Wanda got forced to sign away her rights while she was sedated in the hospital after a serious health scare. She had just come out of a coma, barely able to hold it together when JayZ's legal squad allegedly rolled up with papers for her to sign. Total madness. She didn't even know what she was signing. That one shady move gave JayZ's lawyers the upper hand again, and boom, case tossed. But that ain't even the craziest part. Lily claims that Rymir's own legal team might have been playing for the other side. We're talking about lawyers who allegedly jumped ship, messed up paperwork on purpose, and fumbled filings so bad it looked like they were doing it on purpose. So not only was the other side moving dirty, but their own team might have been helping them do it. The court didn't care one bit. They threw the case out again. And the deeper Rymir and Lily dug, the more sealed files they kept running into.
Somewhere in September, he was in a parking lot with other people, near where he's at living now. And out of all the cars there, his was the only one shot up. So we believe that was a nexus or a connection, I believe, between the case and what's going on because it was around the time. In addition to that, we've had people come to my home in the past, driving on the grass. We have people knocking on the door at 4 o'clock in the morning. We've been through all of it, mostly around the filing time. So this is a bigger picture than this. We want to try to make a difference with the Pro Se Act or the Legal Abuse Act, bringing new legislation and trying to sit down at the table with the lawmakers to make a difference.
All this mess? For what? Just to dodge a mouth swab. Like, for real? If you ain't the dad, why fight this hard? Let's keep it 100. This was never just about some paternity test. It was about what that DNA could really blow up. 'Cause if JayZ is the father, the world finds out he had a kid with a 16-year-old girl, which could get real serious legally depending on the state and timing. So now everybody's side-eyeing and asking, was this just a paternity issue, or was JayZ trying to bury something way bigger? Even when Rymir filed motions to the Supreme Court asking them to unseal old records, he got shut down. Not 'cause he was wrong, but because the Supreme Court said they ain't got the power to step in. Every single door they knocked on got slammed right in their face. But then, the whole game flipped. A federal judge finally came through and ruled that JayZ had to answer the paternity suit. And here's the crazy part that most folks missed. If JayZ don't answer, New Jersey law says he's legally presumed to be the dad. That ruling put a hard stop to all the ducking and hiding. No more ghost moves. JayZ was left with 2 options. No more running.
People were saying that she's a big part of the problem for him. And some of the things that she was doing, a woman would not, she would have some sort of role in what her husband does. And if she was secure with herself and with the situation, not saying you gotta like it, she would help her husband handle it.
Everybody makes mistakes, as I said before, but it's time to actually do your job and look at everything and get it correct, because you cannot use fraud to continue anything in this world. You can't use fraud to help you get forward in life. Then try to continue on your fraud or continue using fraud to get forward in life, and the courts just let you do that. That's unconstitutional, and I think we should really be looking to fix that problem.
Take the test, or forever be listed as the dad in the eyes of the law. And right after that ruling dropped, Rymir got shot at. Let's break down what really went down after that bombshell moment. On July 18th, the court order finally hit. The same day the court stopped shielding JayZ, everything turned wild real quick. By September 2023, just a few weeks after that judge's order, Rymir says someone fired shots at him right in his own driveway. He wasn't even alone. There were people all around. The parking lot was packed. But somehow, only his car got hit. Lily confirmed it all in an interview on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, saying it felt like straight-up retaliation for going public. This wasn't their first time feeling like they had a target on their backs. Lily says she and Rymir had been followed, stalked, and threatened for years while trying to push this case through. And the closer they got to forcing that DNA test, the crazier the intimidation got.
It's crazy. It really is crazy. These judges, these lawyers, this fraud, collusion, who knows what it's for, money or friendships or whatever they got going on. But I can honestly say that we should never go in the courtroom feeling like we're already the victims and we did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong but come in here, tell you guys the truth, put our life on the line.
Now here's where the tea gets scalding hot. According to Lily, they believe Beyonce herself stepped into the mix behind the scenes. It's almost like she was the mastermind pulling the strings from the shadows. They say Beyonce wanted Rymir to disappear quietly. Not because she thought he was lying, but because she allegedly feared what the truth might do to that billion-dollar power couple image. She wanted to shut the whole thing down before it went global. Even when JayZ's camp briefly floated the idea of signing Rymir to Roc Nation, Lily says Beyonce shut that down quick. That offer vanished into thin air overnight. And don't sleep on the musical jabs either. JayZ dropped that savage bar.
You don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot, seeing a lot. I can take me being embarrassed. Like, this can't take nobody not saying nothing.
Heard about us? Singing Billie Jean in his prime for the 1000th time. The kid ain't mine online. They call me dad kiddingly. You're not supposed to take this dad thing literally. That's too famous. We don't even really do famous. I'm cool on that. Chuck the 2 fingers every day. I'm getting sued. I show up to court without a suit. Your every move is on the news, ain't it? Ish has its perks too, ain't it? That wasn't no random line. That was a direct shot at Rymir, who had been begging for a DNA test for over a decade. So what did Rymir do? He fired back with his own track, dropping lines like, ninjas wash up, still doing tracks like 55, where the F you at, need to go back to your old days, grown man in his old ways. He said it wasn't about dissing JayZ, it was about reclaiming his own voice. 'Cause if Jay was gonna clown him in a billion-dollar studio session, Rymir had every right to snap back his own way. This was deeper than rap. It was a fight for his name and his truth. By this point, Lily said they started keeping track of everything. Timestamps, busted up photos, names, license plates, cars, drive-bys, all of it. They sat down with Tasha K, did interviews with The Sun, and hit up Hip Hop Uncensored too. 'Cause if they got taken out, at least the story wouldn't vanish with them. At this stage, Rymir wasn't just fighting for a DNA test anymore. He was going toe-to-toe with a whole legal system that seemed more worried about guarding JayZ's shiny image than giving out any real justice. And the deeper you dig into these receipts, the uglier it gets. This was never a fair fight, not even close. Let's talk about how 6 different judges touched this case over the years. And somehow, not one of them ever forced JayZ to take that paternity test. Then in 2023, Rymir and Lily flipped the whole game. They filed a brand new lawsuit accusing the New Jersey court system of fraud, obstruction, and straight-up civil rights violations. But this time, they weren't going directly after JayZ. They were coming for the judges themselves, the same folks who allegedly helped shield him. Rymir even put it all out there in a video, and it gets crazier. When Rymir tried to get the records from those old hearings unsealed, the Supreme Court shut him down. Not because he was wrong, but because they said they didn't have the power to get involved. Here's the real kicker. Under New Jersey law, if someone refuses a paternity test and there's solid supporting evidence, that person gets presumed to be the father by default, which means JayZ could have already been officially labeled Rymir's dad under the law, but the court just ignored it. And now, this case has drained 14 years of Rymir's life. 14 years of legal bills, court filings, heartbreak, and emotional scars. All that just to get one simple answer. It's so clear this whole thing was set up to crash and burn, all to keep JayZ's legacy spotless and to dodge a major public meltdown. It's wild how far folks will go to protect a big name, even if it destroys somebody else's life in the process. 'Cause let's keep it real. If this ever hits a trial and JayZ's name gets dragged into court with claims he had a kid with a minor, especially in this post-R Kelly world, oh man, that wouldn't just be a paternity headline anymore. That would be a straight-up PR meltdown. After almost 2 decades of silence, sealed files, threats, fake addresses, and missed court dates, the clock is finally ticking. JayZ's got until July 18th to answer the federal judge's order. If he don't show up, he's legally presumed to be Rymir's dad. Period. But that's not the only wild piece floating around right now. Behind closed doors, there's another secret story that might explain why JayZ been fighting so hard to keep this buried. Word on the block is, Rymir ain't the only hidden kid. For years, insiders been whispering about a secret daughter, a woman even older than Rymir, supposedly born from another early 90s hookup. But unlike Rymir, she didn't step out into the light, 'cause allegedly, JayZ paid her to keep her mouth shut. And guess who first started calling him out on it? Wendy Williams! Yup, she was one of the first to spill that tea. This flips the whole situation on its head. It shows a pattern. Deny the kid, but pay up to keep it on the low. So if JayZ allegedly supported a daughter behind the scenes, why fight Rymir this hard? Why not just hush him too? The answer might be in 2 major points. Wanda was underage, and Rymir decided to speak out loud for the world to hear. And now? It's probably too messy to sweep under the rug. Rymir ain't even after a payday. He's said it over and over again. He just wants the truth out there, no matter how ugly it might look for the biggest name in hip-hop. But Lily's lawsuit ain't stopping at just a DNA test anymore. Oh no, they coming for everything. They're demanding major punitive damages, a full unsealing of all those hidden court records, an official jury trial, and even a criminal investigation into all that alleged court collusion. This isn't just a little civil drama now. This could spark a whole wave of lawsuits, more secrets spilling out, and maybe even more hidden kids stepping into the spotlight. And if Beyoncé really did help keep it all hush-hush behind the scenes, man, that ain't just messy. That's a full-on brand nightmare. That would hit everything. Endorsements, music, the Carter family image, all of it. Let's be real. The Carters are pros when it comes to media cleanup. They've weathered scandals before like it's nothing. But this is the one they've never been able to bury because it ain't just gossip anymore. It's cold, hard legal reality. Right now, Rymir's stuck in limbo. He's standing strong, ready to keep swinging even if it takes his whole life. Now it's down to 2 options. JayZ either steps up and takes that DNA test, or he gotta let that court paper label him dad forever. And if you thought Rymir was the only one, hold up, wait till you hear about the daughter. Word is JayZ's team allegedly copped her a whole house up in Connecticut. That girl never filed a single lawsuit. And she's never had to clock in for a job a day in her life. You've seen the war with the one who fought back. Now meet the one who stayed quiet, for a price.